First on camera, if you guys would introduce yourselves, your political affiliation at Belmont, maybe what you did in the debate or around the debate, and then we'll get into the meat of today's discussion. Thank you all for being here. George, do you want to start?
Thank you. I'm George Scoville. I'm the president of the College Republicans over at Belmont, also the deputy editor of the Right Hour Review, the conservative and libertarian newspaper, political science major. Volunteered with CNN starting last Friday, going through midday yesterday, and then I attended the debate.
Great.
My name is Roxana Hodge-Jafar. I'm a senior political science major. I am vice president of Belmont College Dems, and yesterday, part of my day, or part of last week, I guess, really was spent helping organize the college side of a rally that was taking place around Belmont, and then I also was able to attend the debate.
Great.
My name is Travis Harvey. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Right Hour Review and the co-chair of the Belmont College Republicans. And yesterday I was firing people up in an Obama rally, holding a boom mic for CNN.
Sounds interesting. Okay, the format we're going to try to follow today is I'm going to throw a question out there. And so for this time, we'll start with George, and then you guys can answer and have just a few minutes for rebuttal. We want to try to keep this, brief and manageable. And then we'll take a short break and go on to second question, third, fourth, fifth. We just have 5 questions today, but hopefully it'll produce some good discussion. So, George, if you want to start us off, what were your first impressions of the debate last night?
First impressions of the debate were that it was much more tame than last week's. There was not a lot of economic calamity, or not as much. It wasn't as immediate to the debate last night as it was last week. I thought there were still a few jabs thrown between McCain and Obama. I thought they were a little bit more humorous on both sides. They weren't as nasty. And I was really proud that John McCain finally brought to light for the American people the Federal Election Commission report tying campaign contributions from Fannie and Freddie to Barack Obama's campaign. Second highest on the list in only 2 years.
Wow.
I thought that it went really well. I thought both candidates did a really good job. I think that, much like the majority of the American people right now, I think it was very clear that Obama won the debate last night. I think that they both gave some really great answers. Sometimes they answered questions that I wasn't so happy with. I wanted more. But for the most part, I thought it was a good debate.
I thought it was boring. I thought that there was no real personality in the questions. I think if you're going to do a town hall debate, any kind of town hall session, you would like to know, I'm blah, 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 I'm a school teacher, I'm blah, 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 I'm a sales manager at this company, and this is why this question, appeals to me. I thought that the question picking, I thought that there was no area to actually get inside of the candidate's head other than what we already know. I think the one thing that I thought McCain did that I kind of liked was he started bringing up some of the tax questions, some of the high tax questions that I think some Americans have about Obama's tax plan. But I thought it was a sleeper personally.
Do either of you want to respond to that? Agree, disagree?
Well, I like I said before, I think it was a lot tamer. There weren't a lot of fireworks, and I think that's important in a town hall format. When I went on C-SPAN yesterday morning, that was one of the things that we discussed, especially for young voters, and to be having a town hall debate at a university. It's really important to be able to connect with young voters, and young voters don't respond as well to Karl Rove style politics as they do, positive messages. And I think Barack Obama became attuned to that very early in his campaign, and went on this, went with the momentum of hope and change, and young people really responded to it. So that's another area where I'm really proud of John McCain. He returned to that rhetoric that he espoused at the end of his speech at the RNC and said, "Come join me, come work with me."
I agree with George. I think that the American people are a little bit tired of all of the bickering and the mudslinging and all of the negativity. I think we don't want people to point the finger so much as we want to know, how are you going to fix it? And I think that was what they focused on. And I mean, that may be boring to you, Travis, but I think it depends on what you're looking for in the debate and what you value in what they say.
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to say that was a boring debate. I mean, I tried not to watch TV this morning, so I tried, but I mean, there was. I think there's very few Americans that found that to be exhilarating last night. It was less exciting than the first one. It was nowhere near. I'd written an article called "From Saddleback to the Curb" in the Right Hour Review, which I thought Saddleback was a very good setting. I thought the questions were bad. I mean, not bad, but I thought that the questions, everything lacked personality. I mean, it was. I'm not saying I was sitting up there. I was watching it. But there was nothing about it that had there was no personality at all within the questions. It was the same thing as if it would have been a normal. All they needed was 2 podiums to stand at, and it would have been a normal debate. That was not a town hall style debate that I think that they could have had if they'd have chosen to go that route.
May I respond? Well, I think the difference is the people sitting around them reacting to what they say, and those questions were things that are important to voters. Those 80 people represent America, for all intents and purposes, represent undecided America. And everything that they were asking are things that I'm sure people at home watching the debate on television are wondering themselves. What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? How are you going to bring jobs to the U.S.? What are you going to do about energy policy or global warming? These are things that are important to people. And maybe they didn't say, hi, my name is Betty Smith from, Nashville, and I'm a school teacher, but you could see from the types of questions they asked what type of voter they were, and how they responded to the candidate, I think really mattered too.
I think people about 2 or 3 questions in probably changed the channel. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I thought it was. I did not think it was. I don't think anything really got achieved last night. I mean, in as far as getting inside these candidates, I think they all said the same thing. I mean, if you'd seen it once, you've seen it 2 or 3 times. They were using their same little catchphrases. I mean, it just to me wasn't anything new, and it wasn't. I thought it was a boring debate, personally.
With that, I think that'll end our first question. Just as a side note, we had one of the town hall participants in here today, this morning, interviewing, and he said that after the debate, none of the town hall people had changed their mind. Most of them were still undecided voters, which I just found really interesting. Mm-hmm.